So now that the Winter Uprising has come and gone, what did you think of that? What do you think that's going to help, or how do you think that's going to do for indie gamers indie developers such as yourself?
Man, I thought that was a really good thing they had going on. I still haven't played all the games that were released from that. But it really got a lot of good press attention, and there's a lot of good talent on the Indie Games channel. A couple of games I've been playing lately are Wizard Apprentice and Hyper Button. I think they were released like a couple of days before Honor and Vengeance, but there's so much, and a lot of people say, the Indie Games channel is full of apps, and I mean, there's apps on there, but there's a lot of really, really good games, and a lot of really underrated games too, so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully, the Winter Uprising helped, expose some more of these games. That's what I'm hoping, so.
So if they ever do another one, you're going to try and jump in?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Hopefully they do another one. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking to some other developers, and they said they'd like to do it again. They don't want to do it too often because, like they said, it could start kind of, just be too much of something. But
yeah,
it is something I think they would like to try and do again in the future. So you've finished your first game, you've published it, you've gotten feedback, you've obviously gotten some sales. When you look at your game now, what do you look at and say, oh yeah, I nailed it? I mean, what are you the most proud of?
Really, I was really proud of how the voiceovers and stuff like that ended up. I was really proud of like how the story progressed and stuff. It's like the gameplay is like an average 3D space shooter, but you got this complex story going on, and I really thought that ended up going well. And when we released the game, one of the biggest things I've learned so much from just the first week of releasing this game, and probably the biggest thing I learned was dealing with the press, because you're gonna get some bad reviews and you're gonna get some good reviews. You know
right.
what I mean? You have to learn how to deal with that. And a lot of reviews really wanted a HUD, like a targeting system and all that. And I thought that was hilarious because when I was originally designing the game, the first thing I said was, I do not want a HUD. And all these people are like, I really want a HUD. But I'm a big fan of recent games like Splinter Cell Conviction, where it's pretty much HUDless. I was trying to go for that feel. But, I guess that people didn't like that in a space shooter. So definitely for the next episode or whatever, I'm going to add in a HUD and stuff. So, I mean, it's been great. There's stuff I'd like to improve for the next thing, but there's stuff I'm really proud of in this game that I'm hoping to keep on have going in the next few episodes, or how many I do.
That's funny. I was actually going to mention that I'd read some reviews that were glowing, and then some where people said, "There's no targeting reticle. How do I do this?" So, what made you hate? I got to ask now. What made you decide you hated the HUD, since it seems to be a staple of that kind of game?
Well, I just like the idea of not having, I don't really have a problem with it, but I just wanted to try something different, you know what I mean? Because, obviously every single space shooter game has had one,
Right.
I guess I see why everyone's had one now, right? So
because the fans always want it. I mean, do you find that it makes the game more difficult? Or because some people have complained about that, but if it's not really affecting the difficulty of the game, then...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was. See, that's the hardest thing about being a game developer, I think, is judging how hard the game is. At least that is for me. Because I remember I was releasing the game, like the day it released, I was like, man, this is going to be so easy for people. And like the first reviews I read, this game is so hard. So I was like, man. So that's another thing that I hope I'll keep improving on, is the difficulty and all that, because it's hard to judge, especially since only like 2 people beta tested this game. But now in the future I'll have access to that play test section, so I can get a lot more feedback. And
right.
Yeah.
So when you release a game on XBLIG, how do you decide the pricing? Does Microsoft work with it? How does that work, where you decide when it's going to release, how much you're going to charge, all those different things?
Well, unfortunately, if your game is over 50 megabytes, they force you to. Your price has to be 240 Microsoft points.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know that's how they did it. Yeah,
it sucks, to be honest, because that's another thing that I've been seeing a lot of people complaining. Oh, why is this 240? And that's $3. That a cup of coffee. It's not the same price as that. People are complaining, but but yeah, they force you to make it. So I was obviously forced, because my game is much larger than 50 megabytes with the models and stuff.
Right.
And the games will be. They're pretty much released whenever they hit 100% on the peer review thing, as the people come and they submit their review, and when it gets to 100%, it'll just automatically go into the system.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of people need to keep that in mind, though, because I'd never heard that either. I didn't know whether that was a choice, because some developers, and maybe it was different a few years ago when it first started, because it sounded like it used to be a choice. So that's interesting to hear that, no, Microsoft even sets price guidelines for this. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I guess, it costs more to host a bigger game or something like that. But, I see that in not just my game, but I've been reading a bunch of reviews, and people are constantly criticized for making their game turn 40 points or whatever, when, a lot of the games, I'm sure they didn't choose that themselves,
Right.
it was just the game was too big, but that's part of the game, I guess.
but yeah, exactly. And then again, you've got something like, I can't even think of one right now. You've got games that are 5 hours long that people are charging $60 for. From AAA titles, so it's amazing that people will accept that, but not accept.
Yeah, exactly. I question that myself. Here a gallon of gas is like $3. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, people are complaining. I don't know.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say it probably cost you a little more than $3 to get this game up and running.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to release some other games. You said in the near future. You're also planning to go to college. So when you have free time, what games are you playing?
Well, I'm still on a Mass Effect 2 kick, to be honest with you. I know it's like a year or so old, but I never get sick of playing that game. And I still play some Red Dead Redemption.
I'm right there with
you.
Really?
Oh, it's an amazing game. I've been playing that. Let me think here. New Vegas. I've been playing that a lot too. Fallout.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, like you said earlier, the average price of games these days are $60. And when I look at all these games, like, well, if I'm gonna pay $60 for a game, I'm gonna get the RPGs. You know what I mean? Because there's so much gameplay in hours. So really, all the games I usually get are RPGs these days. So.
So, like I said, what's next for Michael Arts as a company?
Definitely Honor and Vengeance 2. That's my goal right now, and I'm hoping to get that out before the year is over. The last game took me like 8 or 9 months. I'm hoping, since I already have an engine built up, I can finish this game in considerably less amount of time. And I'm hoping, like I said, to maybe get like an RPG game out or something like that. I'm hoping. My goal right now is to get 2 games out by the end of the year, and we'll see what happens, because college and all that. But that's my goal.
Exactly. Now, are you going to try and go to any of the conventions? Are you heading towards PAX East or anything like that, or?
I sure would like to do that, but right now I don't think it'll be too feasible to me, because college is kind of expensive. So.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. So that's my goal right now, but definitely in the future I'd love to hit up all those conventions. So.
All right. So one more question. What other things? Like I said, obviously, you're influenced by Rogue Squadron, but your art style, your story style. What types of things influence you when you sit down to create a game?
Well, I'm a huge, as I'm sure you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I kind of got that.
Yeah. So a lot of the art, I love like all the art styles and stuff, and the Star Wars films and games and all that. So that's always a big influence, and just whatever I've been playing recently, subconsciously will influence what I'm doing. And actually, the 3D models that you see in this game were made by a guy named, he goes by Soul Command on the internet or whatever. He did all the models, and I'm not really exactly sure what he's influenced by, but I see a lot of like Halo ship influences in his models that he's done, so that could possibly be an influence there too.
All right, Michael, well, I really appreciate your time today. So one last chance. For people who don't know about the game or don't know about you, sell it real quick. Take as much time as you want and just make a pitch.
Well, Honor and Vengeance is now available on the Xbox Live Indie Games channel. I think it's still in the new releases tab, so be sure to go in there and check it out. Download the trial. Buy it if you like it. And I really appreciate your time playing the game.
Well, that's great. And do you want to plug the website real quick?
Oh, yeah. My personal website is michaelarts.net. We got like a community board on there. We love if anybody drops by. We're always looking for people to help with voiceovers and stuff. So if anybody's interested in doing a voiceover for the new Honor and Vengeance game, they can drop by and we'll fit it in somehow, I'm sure. And be sure to check out justpressstart.net, too.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd forgotten. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
Michael,
helping you out.
I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much. Looking forward to actually trying the game really soon. And as soon as we're able to, the review will go up. And thank you for your time. Best of luck.
Thank
Good luck
you.
in college. Good luck finishing up high school. And I can't wait to talk to you again when the next game drops.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Michael Hicks from Michael Arts, the developer of Honor and Vengeance for Xbox Live indie games. Pick it up now for 240 Microsoft points.